Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Arseni, and today I'm going to be playing something new, or at least something that is rather new to Steam, but that has been out for quite a while, and that is a video game version of an amazing board game called Twilight Struggle. Now, Twilight Struggle, just to give you an idea, was the #1 board game on Board Game Geek, the largest website and kind of a ranking site, community of board games around the world. Okay, and this was #1 for many years. It is no longer #1, it is #2, but I firmly believe it will be back in the #1 spot. This is a two-player game where one side plays as the Soviet Union and the other side plays as the United States as they try to dominate the world and extinguish each other's ideologies without going to DEFCON 1 and launching nuclear weapons at each other. Now, this is not an easy game, but I will try to explain it as I go along. We're going to be playing against the AI. I want to see how tough it is, or how easy. Depends. We'll see. So we're just going to create a game. Now, we can be either USA, or maybe we want to be the USSR. But actually, we're going to go with the United States on this one. We're going to play a standard game. We're not going to play with the Chinese Civil War rules or the late war rules. Don't worry about it. And a fitting quote to start us on this magical journey is a quote from the classic 1980s war movie War Games. Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. Well, we are going to play this game. Okay. Here we go. Mushroom Cloud loading up. Okay, so the game starts out on this map. Every game starts out the same, unless we're playing late game. It is divided into United States and USSR, and then is divided into regions: Central America, South America, Africa, Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Southeast Asia. Although Southeast Asia is kind of a special case, which we will most likely see when we get to Middle War. Now, the objective of the game is to get to 20 points. Okay, right now we are in turn 1, and there are 10 turns in total. Right now, the points are where it says, so here, even. If either side gets to 20 points, they win automatically. If either side completely controls Europe, they win. If either side causes the opponent to go to DEFCON 1 on the opponent's turn, more or less, it's a little bit more complicated than that actually. But if a player essentially goes to DEFCON 1 on their turn, they lose, and the other guy wins because they didn't start a nuclear war. So this is a game of brinksmanship, just like the Cold War, where you try to push the opponent as close as possible to the nuclear war without actually pushing it over the edge. It's a game of bluffing because you've got a bunch of cards, and the enemy has a bunch of cards. You don't know what he has. He doesn't know what you have. It is a game of give and take, because every action you take in this game is going to benefit the opponent in some small or very big way. And finally, it is a game of area control. Since the United States and USSR cannot go to war directly, as that would mean the end of all mankind, they have to do it through proxies. And so they try to win the Cold War by controlling the world, or at least influencing it with their ideologies. All right, the game starts out like so. Okay, so Soviets got a bit of influence in the Middle East, and of course they control North Korea. And China is also communist, but it's kind of a special case. Meanwhile, the Americans, they have a bit of influence in East Asia. They control, or at least are allies with, Australia and the UK. You see this thick, kind of a dark blue number instead. Whereas Canada, well, we have a lot of influence in Canada, but we don't actually control it. It's not actually allied with us yet, but we will make it. And we also got a bit of influence in South Africa. There it is. And a little bit of influence in Panama. Okay, so the game starts out for the United States by placing 7 influence. And influence is basically how you control areas. Now, these little numbers, they denote how many influence points you have in the country. So we got 7 influence to spend. Now, we're going to go with a classic early war strategy. We want 4 influence points in West Germany. We want to control that. We want 2 points in Italy. We have 1 point that we're going to sink into Israel. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot. You have to kind of spend that influence only in Europe. Forgot about that. Okay, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Where do we want to put it? Let's actually buff Italy because it is a common strategy for the Soviets to try and get into Italy as early as possible. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at our cards. Down here are the cards we have in our hand. The cards with the red star, they're actually Soviet cards. We can play them, but doing so will also benefit the Soviets. So if we play a card, we really have to be sure that it's not going to bite us in the ass. So, for example, Nasser, the pro-Soviet president of Egypt. Decolonization. That's going to get the communists into a bunch of countries. Fidel Castro. It's going to get them into Cuba. Do we want that? Yeah, maybe it's actually not a bad idea. The Olympic Games, which is a neutral event, which means we can either get the points from the card, or we can sponsor the Olympic Games, which can be pretty cool and is a way to actually push the opponent into DEFCON. NATO. Now, we cannot play NATO yet because we need to first play Marshall Plan or Warsaw Pact. So, never mind that. But wait a second. What is this? What is this? We've got Marshall Plan. Now, with the Marshall Plan, let us actually change our strategy. And I'll explain why. Because the game starts out with a headline phase, which allows us to play 1 card, and the event of the card, the text of the card, is going to trigger. Now there are 7. 1, 2. Is it 1 influence in each of the 7 Western European countries? Right. So it should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think. Something like that. It's not going to be Canada, and I don't think it's going to be Turkey either. So we're going to reset the points because we can actually spread our points a bit better because we know we're going to add 1 point to all those countries. So we're going to put 3 in Germany, 1 in Italy, 2 in France, and we can put 1 in Greece. Let's do Greece. We're going to commit. Now, headline phase. Both players will select an event card. Alright, so we are going to select the Marshall Plan, because that's going to get us 7 influence points on the board, which is much more than those 4 points that are on the card. Okay. Alright, they've got captured Nazi scientists. We've got a bunch of influence. 2, 3, 4. We got 3 more influence. Where do we want to put it? Let's strengthen Turkey, because Turkey can get us into Middle East. Ah, yes, okay, only 1 point per country, right. Okay, we've done all that. We can have one more country. Actually, sorry, two more countries. I can't count. Let's do Canada. And let's do Austria. Okay. And we're going to commit. All right, now the Soviet Union is going to play their first card. Unfortunately, I found that in this adaptation, this video game adaptation of Twilight Struggle, the AI does take quite a bit of time. Okay. They played the China card, and I think they put whooping 3 points in Iran, which gives them control of Iran, and they also put 1 point into Syria, which also gave them control of Syria because they started with 1 point there. So this is what the Middle East is looking. Now, where do you get actual victory points? Well, you get victory points when somebody, either side, plays a scoring card, and each region has their own scoring card. Now, if the AI is putting these points into Middle East, it's because, or likely because, they have the Middle East scoring card. Now, what can we do about it? Okay, we have NATO, which can be actually pretty cool because it would prevent them from making coup attempts or realignment rolls, more on that later, in any US-controlled countries, which means UK, France, Italy, Germany, and Greece, which is pretty darn cool. But we also need to cover Israel. We can also secure Japan, but that is going to cost us 4 points. So do we really want to do that? I don't know. We could play Olympic Games for the points instead of the events. And I think I would rather do that. I think we can hold on to NATO for now. We don't need to play NATO quite yet. We definitely don't want to play decolonization because that's going to get the USSR into Africa and Southeast Asia. We don't want that to happen. Fidel is actually not technically that damaging. It will get them into Central America early, but they're not going to be able to score there. So we're going to play Fidel. I'm going to place influence. And here, we could beef up Israel. We could also get control of Egypt by putting just 2 points there. But we're going to go for the linchpin of our Middle Eastern strategy, which is going to be Israel. I'm going to put 2 points in Israel for a total of 3. We're still not in control of Israel. We have influence there. Okay, let's see what he's going to come up with. If he has a Middle Eastern scoring card, he could play it right now. But okay, he plays De Gaulle leads France, which is a very nasty card. But he instead played it for points. Now, look at that. He's putting points into South Korea. We do not want to have that to happen at all. We don't want that to happen at all. So we're going to play US-Japan Mutual Defense Pact. And we're going to also put a point in Israel. Now, we have control of South Korea, we have control of Israel. Now, if you have control of the country, in other words, if it's like solid color instead of a white background, it becomes much more expensive for the enemy to put points into that country. It's actually double. It's double the cost. You pay 2 influence points to put 1 point into that country. So now it's going to be much, or at least a little bit more difficult for them to continue trying to do whatever they were trying to do in South Korea or Middle East, or at least Israel. Okay, so let's see what they come up with. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Interesting. Okay, are they going to commit? Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. Okay, they committed. And what did they play? They played Nuclear Test Ban. Not a bad card. I mean, it's better. It's playing it for the points is better than playing it for the event. So neither here nor there. It does get them into Asia in a big way. So they're really gonna go for the control of Afghanistan and Pakistan. So it's a bit of a problem, sure. Now we do have Nasser, but do I want to give them Vietnam? I could give them Vietnam. They still have 5 cards, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they should have 5 cards. Yeah. It also would let them conduct operations in Southeast Asia easier. We don't want that to happen. At least not yet. Actually, never. But I am a little worried that they have all this influence in the Middle East and Asia, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So here's the question: do we go for the Middle East strategy or do we go for the Asia strategy? See, like, this is how this game plays out. Now, this is why it's so fascinating. You know, got all these choices, but all of the choices are hard. There are no easy choices in this game. We could, of course, play NATO for the event. Okay, kills me, but we're gonna play NATO for the event. So now he cannot coup and he cannot realign US-controlled countries in Europe, which includes at this point in time, the UK, France, West Germany, Italy, and de Gaulle was played. Okay, so he played the Truman Doctrine, which actually helps me. Okay, where do I want to remove influence? I can remove influence from one Eastern European country, not including East Germany, because East Germany is controlled and... Oh, okay. We could remove it from Finland or Yugoslavia. I think I'm going to take it away from Finland. Now he's got like 1 point to put somewhere. He tried to do a military coup in Iran and he succeeded. Of course he succeeded. He had way more points there. And now his DEFCON is at 4. Now what does that mean? That means if we don't want to lose any victory points, he gained 2 victory points right now, by the way. We need to do a coup ourselves. And now that the DEFCON is at 4, we cannot coup in Europe. But we could coup Saudi Arabia. Let's do that. And we're going to roll a dice. And it's a failure. But we did get what's called military operations score. So every time you coup a battleground country, and Saudi Arabia happens to be a battleground country, you get military operations score. And we need our military operations score to be, well, higher than a 0, so we don't lose any points. Like, it doesn't gain you points, but you can lose points. Containment. Okay, so the AI did something very clever. Containment is a card that gives more points to any cards that I play, the United States plays. But if you wait until the end of the round, well, then the United States doesn't have as many cards to play, which means they don't benefit as much from this card. Okay, what did they do with it? They put influence in Iraq. Oh, they actually control Iraq now. And they now control Saudi Arabia. Wonderful. That's fantastic. We definitely don't want to do decolonization. Vietnam revolt, actually not too bad. And it's actually gonna give us 3 points. 3 points that we could spend in Southeast Asia. We could also beef up Canada, actually, just so we control it, just for the sake of scoring Europe. But yeah, let's place influence. We're gonna put influence in Philippines. We're gonna put influence in Indonesia. And we're gonna put more influence into. What do I want to put more influence into? Decisions. Let's put it into Lebanon. So now we control Lebanon. Now Lebanon is a kind of a Lebanon is not a stable country, which is represented by its score of 1. The lower the score, the less stable the country is. The less stable the country is, the easier it is to kind of overthrow the regime in to overthrow or to realign to kind of persuade the regime there. Okay, this is the final round of turn 1, Arab-Israeli war. Now, okay, so they played it as an event, which means they launched an Arab-Israeli war, and by rolling a 5, and because I controlled Lebanon and Israel, they subtracted 2 from whatever they rolled. They rolled a 5 minus 2, that's 3. That is less than the target number of 4, which means they completely failed. They're the first Arab-Israeli war of the game. Israel won. Okay, good, right? Okay, well, kind of. Now we got a choice. Decolonization is going to give them 4 influence. If I play it, it'll give me 3 influence. 2 for the points on the 2 for the number of influence points on the cards, plus 1 because of the containment card that Soviet Union played earlier. Alternatively, what I could also do is I could send a card to space and start us off on the space race. This is what the space race looks like. It'll also get us 1 victory point. It'll also get rid of this country. Get rid of this card. Let's do that. Let's space race it. I don't like this. Let's do this. Success! Okay, we launched Earth satellite. Now we're still behind the Soviets, but we did get our own satellite into orbit. We got 1 victory point, and now the score is 1 in favor of the Soviets. We did lose 1 point because our military operations was not as high as it should be, but we didn't lose more than 1 from that, so that's pretty good. Okay, we got some new cards. Oh, we also have the China card, which I'll explain in a second. As soon as we see what we got. Ooh, we've got some very nice cards. But, okay, so China card. When you play the China card, so Soviet Union starts with the China card. If they play it, the China card goes to face down to the United States, and the United States can then play it during their next turn. So I got the China card last turn, and now I have the China card. But if I play it, it will go to the Soviets. Now, Red Scare Perch is a fantastic card because it's going to hurt anything the opponent is going to do this turn. But there are other good, there are actually other good very good cards we actually can play in the headlines. CIA, for example, we get to see what they have. And that will, in turn, help us plan our turn. So that's a very good, could be a very good card to play. Suez Crisis, we're definitely not going to play that. At least we wouldn't if we didn't have a card called UN Intervention. So just like in real life, we can start a Suez Crisis and then do a UN Intervention and basically cancel the fallout from the Suez Crisis. So that is actually really cool. We're gonna do that just because it's awesome. Let's do that. Independent Reds, honestly, not that good a card because do we want influence in Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, or Czechoslovakia? Not really. Formosan Resolution is a very good card. Because basically what it means is that Taiwan will be a battleground country if we control Taiwan. But it's not crucial. Like, it's not really vital right now. So I'd rather wait 4 points. Okay, so we're going to play CIA Created. I want to see what they've got. Let's see what they've got. Okay, destalinization. That hurts. That hurts. Because they're going to put like 4 points anywhere they want. No more than 2 per country, though. Okay, so what do they have? They have defectors. That would have been really awesome if they played that. But, and I'm actually going to go write it down right now because my memory is crap. They have defectors, 5-year plan, which actually helps us because it basically represents how crappy Soviet economy was. They got the Warsaw Pact, which is the equivalent of NATO, more or less. Blockade. Nasty, very nasty card. Now, they've got Asia scoring. What does that mean? That means that if we don't want to lose a buttload of points, we're going to need to play Asia game. Or, because we have Middle Eastern scoring, we let them have Asia and we score Middle East. But we're going to see socialist governments. That also hurts us a lot. Because it's going to get Soviets into... yeah, it's going to remove a lot of our influence from Europe. And they also have the Indo-Pakistani War, which is meh. It might get them some points and some military operations, but it's not going to really hurt us. Defectors would have been really good for us, but it'll give us 1 victory point. Okay, we also can play 1 up card. Now I know they've got blockade. I know they got Asia scoring. I know they got socialist governments. Now, yeah, they're gonna play those socialist. Yeah, they're gonna play those socialist governments for the events. But at least I would expect a human player to do that. We can play one up. Basically, put 1 point somewhere. Where do we put this? We're going to buff up. Well, we're gonna buff up. Come on, no. Really? Okay. Right, let's use for operation. Sorry. I was like, what's going on? Oh yeah, I have to actually place influence. We're gonna buff up. I want to buff up Italy. Italy is kind of a linchpin of Europe in this game. It's pretty much the only Western European country that can be vulnerable throughout the whole game, regardless of the current DEFCON status. Because there's a nasty card called Brush War. So this is going to be kind of our insurance against that. Okay. Military coup in South Korea. Oh my goodness, they succeeded. Not good. Current DEFCON is at 3. That's bad. That's bad. That means no coups in Europe, no coups in Asia. We can coup in Middle East. I know they have the Asia card. That's why they're trying to do this crap. That's why they're trying to pull this crap. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play. We're gonna play UN intervention with a Suez crisis. We're going to get back control of South Korea. We've got 2 more influence points. I know they have Asia. They've got 1, 2, 3 battlegrounds. We've got 1, 2. Sorry, we've got 1, 2, 3 battlegrounds. We've got 1 and 2, and they've got 1, 2 non-battleground countries, and we've got 1, 2, 3. Ah. We need to get into Asia. Okay, well, gonna have to get control of Malaysia. Alright. Now it's Asia's even, sort of. So now they have to try to either change the balance in Asia, or they're gonna have to try to do something else. Let's see what they're going to do. Okay, 1 in Laos, 1 in South Korea. They really want to interrupt South Korea. Okay, they really want to go for Asia. And they're willing to disrupt my plans to do so. Unfortunately, they have 3 battlegrounds. 3 battlegrounds in the Middle East. All right, it's time to play the China card. One in here. Or no. Okay, we're gonna play the China card. Yes, but I'm gonna put. All right, we're gonna play the China card. There we go. Okay, I don't know why it's not reversing that. Now, I hate the game kind of takes its time updating. What's that? What's that? Oh, there we go. And Thailand is now ours. That's going to give them a little bit to think about. Because now they're going to have to either try to coup, because they can they coup in Asia? I forget. Oh, they cannot coup in Asia. So they have to play points. Boom! Defectors. Which means we get 1 victory point, which we just got. And let's see. I'm sure they're going to go for Asia. Yeah, there we go. Come on. No, it's taking so long. It doesn't usually take this long for it to decide. Come on, game. Come on, find your marbles. Okay, there we go. So let's see. What did they decide to do? Thailand. Okay, so they're still not in control of Thailand. And they had to, give me a victory point. Thank you. We're going to play a Red Scare Purge for the points. That'll give us something to think of. We got 2 more points. We're going to control Egypt. Yeah, we're going to sit on Nasser. We're not going to let Nasser come out and upset our imperialist Yankee plans for Egypt. All right. I am crushing Asia. And the thing with scoring cards is that they have to be played. Okay. And they discarded Asia as scoring. That means, well, that was very convenient. Randomly, they actually got rid of the one card that would have hurt them. I don't freaking think so. Interesting. They want to go for Japan strategy? We're not going to let them. We're going to go into Middle East. We're going to do more stuff in the Middle East. We're going to get Libya on our side. Now we're going to go even in the Middle East. Okay. What the heck did they do? 1 in Haiti, 1 in Yugoslavia. Okay. Well, they did get into Central America. Yeah, well, we weren't looking. And Yugoslavia. Now, if they're doing Yugoslavia, they can't do realignment rolls because of NATO, so that point in Yugoslavia is actually kind of wasted, if you ask me, but let's get them out of, let's get some Japan. Oh, that really hurt. That actually really hurt. Okay, we went even. Except I lost some points because I couldn't coup anything. Alright, this is not good. That was actually a pretty bad turn. I managed to hold them off. Reshuffle. Okay, let's see what do we have. 5-year plan. That's gonna hurt them. Red Scare Purge could help us. We got Europe and Middle East. Oh, holy crap. We need to do something about that. Duck and cover. Not yet. There's a cheap card. Okay, let's see. What do we have in Europe? We've got France, Italy, they've got East Germany, Poland. We can play Europe scoring and go even. We can also try to cripple them with a 5-year plan or a Red Scare or a Purge. Let's do 5-year plan. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this. Oh boy. And they played an intervention with it. Of course they did. Well, I mean, that's probably going to get us out of... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they got some points back in Finland. Surprised they didn't go for Austria. Okay, we actually shot ourselves in the foot. My 5-year plan got them to discard UN intervention, which would have helped them a lot, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping that. Oh boy, okay. Oh, this is really bad. This is really really bad. This is what I was afraid of. Okay, so now we have to repair all the damage in Europe. 3, 4. Okay, we need to shore up West Germany. I think, man, I don't like to accuse AI of cheating, but it's playing like it knows that I have Europe score, that I have the Europe scoring card. Um, just the way that it's playing, it's just ugh. China card, interesting. Oh boy. Okay. All right. All right. Gonna play it for the influence because I want to keep this country for late war. I don't want it to disappear. Okay, we repaired the damage. If they continue to play in Europe, man, then they're really cheating. But I do have the China card now. So next turn could be the big break that I need in Asia. Okay, that really works for me. Thank you. They just basically permanently gave me Japan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Whew, okay. We can still turn this around. Oh, come on. Come on, this is not funny anymore. Okay, duck and cover. France is ours. Canada is ours. Just get out. Turkey is ours. Okay, I played a little emotionally there because I'm a little miffed that the AI is playing as if it knows that I have the Europe scoring, and it's basically like, nope, not gonna let you do that. Well, okay, success. Okay, they've got Thailand. All right. The reason they did that is to prevent me from scoring in Asia, because in Asia we're going even, but in Europe we're dominating, we're crushing it. So let's play it. Okay, I want a net of 5 points. Boom. For the first time, this is blue. This is blue. Okay. It's pretty bad. Not too bad. Like, it's not terrible. Thailand, Angola. Oh, they're getting into Africa. They're preparing for the Middle War. Cameroon, Zaire. So Africa is going to be a little hard to score. But we've got okay. Let's play it for the event. And let's declare war on Pakistan. We've succeeded? Oh, okay. But we did get the military operations, I think. What? Oh my goodness. They've actually succeeded in South Korea. All right. Well, we gotta give them some points, but we actually went even. So that's good. We lost one victory point though because of military operations. Okay, this concludes the early war phase. We had a pretty good comeback turn. We kept them off balance. I feel like we're not doing so well in Asia, and they are doing really well now in Central America and Africa. But we're doing we're going pretty strong in Europe, and Middle East for the moment is secure. Okay, so I will be playing the mid-war phase at a later time, and I'll make a video showing how the mid-war dynamics differ from the early war, and I hope to see you in my next video.